Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Jiva and welcome back for a new reading vlog. So it's actually coming toward the end of October and I thought it was the perfect chance to do a part 2 to the Witchy Romances reading vlog and just pick up some new witchy romances that I've been really looking forward to ever since I did the previous reading vlog a couple of months ago, and all the while enjoying some autumnal activities because it is slowly getting more and more autumnal outside as well. The temperatures are dropping, the leaves are changing color and falling from the trees, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to actually enjoy some autumnal activities and take you along on the journey. So I hope you guys enjoy this reading vlog. And starting it off right away is with the first thing that I could think of when I thought of what should I do in autumn. And there is nothing more comforting to me than baking. So I prepared the ingredients that I needed for some muffins. I actually looked up a couple of autumnal muffins or cupcakes, and a lot of those recipes recommended apples and cinnamon and some nuts. So I decided to use those, especially since my family goes kind of crazy over apples in any kind of sweet stuff in like baked goods. I'm not the biggest fan of apples, so I decided to do half like cupcakes with apples and the other half with some blueberries because I do love me some blueberry muffins. And then added some other like odd ingredients that I could find in different recipes. I don't know about you, but I personally love baking just a little bit more during autumn than any other season, just because there's something so romantic to me about staying by the warm oven while the temperatures are freezing outside. There's something very, I don't know, romantic, comforting about it, I thought. So I always really enjoy baking during autumn. I want to try doing an apple pie, but I've never done it alone before, so I thought I should wait for supervision and just do cupcakes for now because that's something I've done before. And I was low-key looking forward to seeing my family's reaction to the apple cupcakes because I don't think they've ever had those before, and I was just excited to make it for them and have them try it to see whether they enjoyed it or not. So today I actually have something exciting to share with you guys because I got some book mail. Look at this. I haven't received book packages in a while, guys. Like, I have been buying books this year, but very slowly. Never like did I place an order of like multiple books at once. If ever, I usually did like one book at a time because like I just didn't really feel like buying books. Honestly, it's weird. I know that happens. Sometimes self-control happens, even to a passionate reader. Who would have thought? Anyway, but yeah. So this time, like it was autumn. I was looking at some books on Book Depository that just sounded so freaking cool and seemed like they would be perfectly fitting for autumn. And I just decided to splurge a little bit, like not too much, but a little bit. And since I have these books now, so these packages to unbox, and I also have like a pile of books down here in my feet that I bought either last autumn or this year in preparation for autumn. Like I was buying some autumnal kind of books all throughout the year in preparation for my autumn reading. Like I get very serious about reading in autumn. So yeah, I have some books here to share with you, and I thought, why the heck not do a little autumn book haul? Because like, yeah, I love those. I love watching those. I love seeing some like books that people think would be perfect for autumn. So I thought, why not share one of my own? So starting with the packages that I got today, I have first here Scritch Scratch by Lindsay Curry. And this book just sounds very creepy. I believe this is a middle grade story, but we follow in it a young girl called Claire, and she has absolutely no interest in the paranormal, in the supernatural. She considers herself a scientist and wants nothing to do with anything that can be explained. Until one year, she actually has to go and work with her dad on this ghost-themed bus. And some weird stuff starts happening on this bus. For one, she actually starts seeing the face of this young boy on the bus, which is very sad, very melancholy, but at the end of every single tour, the boy seems to disappear until at one point they start to hear like scratching sounds on the bus. It sounds chilling just reading the synopsis on the back, but honestly, I think it's gonna be a really fun time on like Halloween or something. It looks absolutely gorgeous as well. It has a very beautiful cover. I feel like even the cover gives you a little bit of a chilling vibe. And the title, honestly, the title was what first drew me to it. Because when you like say the word scratch scratch out loud, it just gives me freaking shivers. So yeah, it was mainly that, but then the synopsis just really hooked me, and I actually can't wait to dive into this story. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good time, and I think this is gonna be one of the like spookier books that I might read this autumn. And moving on to the next package, first off, I have here one of the books that I've seen many other people actually mention. I first saw it on Book Depository. It was listed, I believe, under like the new releases or under the bestsellers or something, and the synopsis just sounds freaking beautiful. Also, like this is completely irrelevant, but I was hoping to get one of the other editions. Like I think the other one is a US edition, this is the UK edition or something like that. But like it was sold out on the day that this book was released. All the versions of the book except this one were sold out immediately. So I had to get like this cover, but like it's still beautiful. I just was hoping to get the other one. But anyway, yeah, the book is called The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangul Mandana. And in this story, we actually follow a young woman named Mika Moon, which already sounds so cool. Mika Moon, the best name ever. And Mika Moon is actually a witch, but all her life she's really tried to keep her magic hidden, to not have any contact with other witches, and just to keep her head down and live her life. Until one day, like she receives a mysterious message asking to become a witch tutor to like 3 young witches, like a live-in tutor, it says so on the back. And so if she wants to accept this offer, she actually has to move to Nowhere House. For some reason, Mika does decide to take the offer up and moves to Nowhere House, where she meets the 3 young witches along with their like grumpy guardian or like the grumpy librarian or something along those lines. And it just sounds like it's going to be the cutest story ever. And then moving on to the next book, I have here The Ghouls of Howlfair. So another one with a very reflective title. And this one is written by Nick Tomlinson. And again, it gives me spooky house or like haunted house vibes. It looks very pretty. So in the story, we actually follow the historian Molly Thompson and some of her friends as they try to discover who in their town is summoning some mythical monsters, and doing this right before the not presidential election, but before the mayor election. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be a fun time of some kids trying to save their town from some mythical monsters. And like, judging from the cover, there's gonna be some spooky vibes, some creepy vibes, but not too many like horror vibes, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I can't wait to actually jump into this one. Once again, that cover is absolutely amazing. It looks very spooky. I love the haunted house. I love the ghosts. I just love everything about this, basically. So yeah, hopefully I will be getting to this one this autumn as well. And that was package number 2. Now we only have one package left. There's one book in here. And this book is another witchy book. Oh my god, I'm so excited about this one as well. This one is called The Witches of Moonshine Manor by Bianca Marais. Okay, so I'm back after a short little intermission because my family suddenly decided they wanted to eat some chestnuts. So we actually used the barbecue to make a fire outside and made them outside. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do during fall is actually eating chestnuts outside by the fire with my family. It's something that we've been doing since childhood, and it's honestly like, it just makes me so happy. I will include some clips in this vlog because I had to take some clips. Like, it was seriously, it was beautiful. And yeah, just a cool little cozy family day. It's turned out into that. So yeah, I had to take a break from the book haul, but we're not done yet because there's still a couple of books I wanted to tell you about. So next, like I said, is The Witches of Moonshine Manor, and in this story we actually follow a coven of witches who are on the brink of going bankrupt, and they actually rely on a new coming witch to save them from their like financial troubles. But unfortunately, when this new witch arrives to their like coven, they realize that she might actually be a person bringing even more problems to their doorstep, including a bargain that she made with the devil. So yeah, sounds like a fun time. It actually sounds like it's going to be really cool. I love that we will be following not only one witch, but like a whole coven of witches. And obviously they're going through a hard time, but I think that's gonna make for some very funny situations. But we'll see. So yeah, one of my most highly anticipated releases of the year, by the way. I have been really anticipating reading this one, which is Autumn. Everything just fits together, you know. I love the cover again. I think it looks very beautiful. So yeah, looking forward to reading The Witches of Moonshine Manor. Okay, next up I have a middle grade story. So this is actually a sequel to a book that I read this year. And it is The Secret of Whitestone Gate by Julie Noble. So this is the sequel to The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane, which I have read and actually have a vlog up of me reading that book. Loved it. Had to go ahead and actually order the sequel straight away because I am obsessed with the writing style of Julia Noble, with the characters she's created, with the world, with the mystery. Basically, this entire story just has my heart and I want to read more of it. So in this one, we also follow the same characters we met in the first book. So we have, what are their names again? We have Emmy, we have Lola, and we have Jack. So they're the trio that we follow, but this time one of the characters actually got into some trouble, might be accused of some crimes they didn't commit. And we have the other couple of characters trying to get him out of trouble. So yeah, I think it's gonna be just a great time because the first book was definitely amazing. Have high hopes for this one as well. We'll be reading it very soon. And then another book, this one is actually from last year's autumn book haul, but I still have not actually gotten to reading it. And it is called Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. Yeah, so TJ Klune is actually he got really big on BookTube, and I feel like on all book platforms, Book Twitter loves him. BookTok, I think, loves him as well. Instagram, obsessed with the Wolfsong books. I see them all the time. Also on my TBR, by the way. But this is the book that I own physically now, so I'll be reading this one first. And in this story, we actually follow a young man called Wallace who appears to die, and on his funeral day, there's a reaper who comes to collect his soul and delivers him to a tea shop or something. Is it a tea shop? Yes, it is a tea shop, and at this tea shop he meets a man named Hugo who promises Wallace that he's going to help his ghost cross over. But Wallace is completely outraged that he seems to have died because he hasn't lived his best life yet. And in the week that Hugo gives him for his soul to cross over, Wallace decides that he just wants to live his best life. He's going to give life his everything, not focus on work like he did while he was actually living. And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some sparks between Hugo and Wallace because, TJ Klune is all about a romance. So yeah, highly anticipated. Again, I cannot wait to read this book. It does sound perfect for fall. We're just gonna be spending time in this little house, I assume, which is this the tea house or is this not the tea house? I'm very confused by the synopsis, but beautiful things are ahead, I feel like, when it comes to this book. I've read TJ Klune's other book. Is it called House at the Cerulean Sea? I read that book before last year during summer. I loved it with every single fiber of my being. I love that story. I love the characters, the relationships. And if this book is gonna have similar things included, then I think this is gonna be a good book, So yeah, highly anticipating reading that one. And then the next couple of books, I have another witchy book here actually first. So I've also read The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling this year, and of course when I saw that the book is getting a companion novel, a sequel, whatever you want to call it, of course I had to get it. And the sequel is called The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. We follow a character that we met in The Ex-Hex. It's Vivi's cousin called Gwyn, and Reese's brother. Reese is of course the love interest in The Ex-Hex. The brother that we follow in here is called Wells. And Gwyn and Wells don't really get off right away. They don't get along very well at the beginning, but of course, since this is a witchy romance goodness, they are going to get over those differences somehow. Who knows? But judging from the first book and what the first book was, I'm just expecting romantic goodness, a lot of banter, a lot of funny moments, a lot of tension, kind of a slow build up with some stolen moments in between, and just overall a good time basically. So yeah, I'm definitely picking this one up this autumn, this October, because I do want to read this one. It's just a fun time. It's kind of a serotonin pill, honestly, reading Erin Sterling books. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And that is out of the book haul, the last witchy book that I have. And then I only have a couple of books left with some demons, because for some reason I always associate demons with autumn, reading demon books. Don't know what it is about it, but yeah. And the first of these books is called The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. Now, check this out. In the story, we actually follow a young woman named Claire, and she is a librarian in Hell. There is a section of Hell meant like for storing books that have been unfinished by their authors. And Claire's role in this job is to actually look after these characters who have been abandoned by their authors until one incident occurs where one of these characters actually tries to escape Hell to go in search of the author who has, not finished their story, obviously. And the character probably escapes because Claire ends up getting the help of, it says here, like, the help of a former muse and a current assistant Brevity and nervous demon courier Leto. So yeah, there's some demons mentioned there. I don't know, I'm really looking forward to it. The whole entire concept of the story just sounds so cool. And yeah, it says they're going to like change and reshape the boundaries between heaven, hell, and earth. So that always sounds like it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, I've heard amazing things about the story. And I'm just really curious about it. It's a thick one as well, which I'm really looking forward to it. Pretty sure it is a young adult story, so if this would be something that would interest you, definitely would recommend. And the other demon book that I have is The Devil Makes Three by Tori Bovalina. And in this story, we actually follow, once again, a young girl called Tess Matheson, and she ends up working at the library at her local, or at her boarding school. And here, she and a boy named Elliot actually discovered this ancient, secret, seemingly like forbidden part of the library where there's some ancient, very suspicious looking books. And accidentally, they actually end up releasing a demon from like an old prison. And I assume they kind of take it upon themselves to actually deal with hunting down the demon and caging it back up. I don't know what kind of havoc the demon is going to wreak on the world, but it sounds like it's gonna be a really good time. When this book came out, I actually did see a couple of really good reviews, so it piqued my interest even more. And I decided like now might be a good time to actually check it out and see what it's all about and pick it up during this autumn. I'm actually hoping to read this book during November because it kind of gives me November vibes. I don't know, it also gives me kind of dark academia vibes, both the Library of the Unwritten and The Devil Makes Three low-key give me dark academia vibes. I feel like it could have some elements of the aesthetic in it, like with the library, and we also have like a school setting in this book, in Demons and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna let you know once I read them, but either way, I am hella excited to actually read them both. Read all of these, honestly. I also do have kind of like an honorable mention, but I feel like this book is so popular that I don't really want to lose words. And that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I did end up picking this special edition book last year when it came out, and I just wanted to show off the book, honestly. I'm pretty sure you've all seen it before because it did make the rounds on Instagram, Twitter, like all the book platforms basically. There were so many people talking about it and showing off this beautiful edition, but in case you haven't seen it yet, here it is. It's beautiful. It also has some like art underneath the dust jacket. This is what it looks like, and then you also have inside dust jacket art as well. I don't know whether there's like the same art on both sides. No, oh, I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, this art is beautiful. Look at this. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's Addie LaRue in the arms of like the devil, the demon that she makes a deal with. It's about a young girl who makes a deal with the devil to live forever, but the price for eternal life is that everybody that she meets is going to forget her. Like nobody's going to remember her until she meets a boy who actually does end up remembering her. So yeah, sounds beautiful. I have read V.E. Schwab before. Her books are kind of like a hit or miss for me. I enjoyed her books to an extent, but I wasn't as like rebelly obsessed with them as some people are. And like I can understand the hype. There's just something usually that I don't connect with when it comes to V.E. Schwab. I don't know what it is, but hopefully this book is gonna be like my third try with V.E. Schwab, and hopefully I'm going to enjoy it because the premise of it just sounds beautiful. And yeah, excited about it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the haul. These are the books that I got, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you got some inspiration from this. I did make like a whole list for autumn for like books to read and movies to watch and some TV show recommendations. But like I feel like I kind of missed the window to post that video, so I'm gonna save those recommendations for next year and I'm gonna actually tell you about them next year. There are some of those books, or pretty much all of those books are on this list on this book haul. So yeah, at least I got to tell you about books. But for the watch list, I'm gonna watch some of these movies this autumn anyway, so I'm gonna talk about them in some of my reading vlogs if you're interested. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this. I'm gonna get back to reading now because I am actually reading one of these books. Let me check out where I have it. I'm currently reading The Kiss Curse. Yeah, just absolutely stunning book. I just love how lighthearted these books are. Like they're just something to feed your soul, something to kind of sit down with. You can easily read this book in one sitting because they are pretty short and they're written in a way that just really suck you in, and like they're written in such a like easygoing way that it's easy to just get lost in and finish it in one sitting is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'm loving the new characters. I might even say I like this book better than the Ex-Hex. There's just something about the plot that's, I don't know, it's kind of funnier than what the Ex-Hex was. And I feel like the main characters have a better banter than what we got in the first book, which is saying a lot because the banter in the first book was also really good, but in here, there's something hilarious about it. Like the interactions between Gwen and Wells, there's something about them that just like honestly has me laughing out loud, and I love every single second of it. So yeah, if you're into witches, if you're into romance, if you're into like funny banter and into very much character driven stories, would highly recommend this one. And yeah, hopefully there's gonna be another book. Like I'm already thinking there could be another book because like the Penhallows have another brother. So there's not just Reese and Wells, they have another like middle brother, and he could potentially also get a story of his own because I will gladly eat up the stories every single year. So yeah, I'm having my fingers crossed for that, but for now I'm going to finish The Kiss Curse. And then, yeah, read another witchy book. Actually, the one that I'm really hoping to get to in this reading log is also this one. So, The Secret Society of Irregular Witches, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This is the one that I've had my eye on for a while, and this is the one that I kind of want to finish this month as well. So, yeah, I'm gonna be picking it up after I finish The Kiss Curse. Okay, I have some hot cocoa right here. I have some marshmallows. I'm not really sure what these are, but this is actually my first time trying this combination. I've never had this like marshmallows in hot cocoa before, but I've always seen people drink this. Like, it's one of the most popular like aesthetic drinks in autumn. I feel like I've seen so many photos with like a hot drink and marshmallows in it. I was like, I have to try this. I have to give it a try. So I'm gonna give it a try right now. Let me just put on some lights. I'm gonna put this in the cocoa now. I have them in pink and in white. I'm gonna try both. So here we go. Oh, they're supposed to melt a little bit. I'm kind of afraid I didn't make the hot cocoa hot enough, so they're not going to melt, but we're gonna see. I'm simultaneously very curious about this, but also very scared. Okay, so I've mixed them up a little bit, but I'm not really sure what was supposed to happen. Like, were they supposed to melt because they aren't really melting? They're kind of just floating there. What was supposed to happen? I was gonna try one, I guess. I'm gonna try a pink one with some hot cocoa. So let's give this a taste test. It's not bad. It's not as bad as my facial expression maybe insinuates, but I just don't like it because I feel like the outer layer did melt a little bit, but not enough to really melt. It just got kind of gooey, and I kind of have a gooey. Wow, that was an experience, but it's actually not that bad. I just think if the cocoa was a little bit hotter, they would have actually melted. Maybe I just didn't buy the right marshmallows. Maybe these are the ones that like you can put over fire and they, you know, get crispy and stuff. I don't know whether like they're the same ones that you put in hot cocoa or not, but it's definitely pretty. But actually the reason why I made this drink is because I'm gonna watch a movie tonight. I'm gonna have a little movie night. And I'm gonna watch The School for Good and Evil because The School for Good and Evil came out, the movie, in September. It's a movie based on the books by Suman Shanini, in case you don't know. I read the first trilogy a couple of years ago. I loved it. I love how it's based on like the fairy tale world, but you know, we have the whole School for Good, School for Evil, like training princesses and the villains of fairy tales. Like everything about the concept of the story is just perfect. And now they've made a movie, and I'm really excited to actually check it out. I've been anticipating it for months now. Like, I think the first clips came out in the beginning of summer, so I've been really looking forward to for it to finally be September and for the movie to come out so I can now watch it. Wait, was the release date set in September or October? Because it's now October, but I can't remember whether it was released this month or previous month. I think the release date was actually in October. Was it like October 19th or something? It's about the 20th today. I honestly don't even know what time is, but like it's not that long ago that the movie came out, so I think it was actually released in October. So yeah, I thought I would cozy up with my drink and watch the movie and just have like a chill little night. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get the movie going. Give me Cinderella any day. Just look at the dresses in here.
You found it. Just look at the embossing.
Who's SGE?
Not who, what? The School for Good and Evil. Don't tell me you've never heard of it.
This is it! This is real life spice! Thank you! Look at the School for Good! It's so beautiful!
Hello, so I have a little reading update because I actually finished The Kiskers by Erin Sterling, so I'm done with my first book of the reading vlog. And I gotta say, I have a bit mixed feelings about the story now. Because, like, for a witchy romance, it did deliver, like, a decent enough romance. Like, the romance part isn't the problem. The problem is more like the witchy part and just the story overall part. Okay, so I think I mentioned before, but the romance in here was pretty good. The main characters had a really good banter. Like, the first half of the story was really good. The thing that suffered toward the end of the story was the plot. I wasn't expecting anything great, but I can't help but compare it to the XX because I've also read this recently, you know, I read it this year, so it's still kind of fresh in my mind. And compared to the Kiskers, the XX unfortunately just had a much better like plot development. This book just kind of felt so rushed toward the end. The way this story wrapped up ruined the first impression of the story, unfortunately, because the author didn't seem at all to be focusing on like actually properly developing and wrapping up the plot. It just felt so rushed and brushed under the carpet, and we don't even get to see how everything resolved. There's just like a mention and then this happened, and then there's like a time jump to a couple of days later or like the next day or something. And I feel so cheated out of getting like a good story wrapped up nicely. So yeah, mixed feelings about the story, like I said. But I mean, the story does deliver exactly what it promises. It offers like a cutesy, witchy romance read with not too much depth, but it's entertaining. It's something to pass your time with. It's something to kind of celebrate autumn with, because it does have those like very pretty, very autumnal descriptions of this beautiful scenery. We have the book set in this small town that celebrates Halloween in a very big way, very, I feel like, American way of celebrating Halloween. And there is a college, there's this like two competing stores with Halloween and witchy stuff, and like yeah, it is still an homage to Halloween and autumn. So yeah, that's pretty much all the expectation you should have for this story. And that's The Kiskers. So yeah, I finished the first book and then I jumped straight into the second one that I was going to read, which is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I've actually started this book as well. I am currently 71 pages into the story and enjoying it immensely. I actually love the main character. I feel like straight off when we meet the main character in here, you realize that she is one very lonely witch. So all her life, Mika Moon has been living this lifestyle of just keeping to herself, not revealing to anybody in her life who she is, what she is, except to like the witches that she knows, and she actually meets every 3 months. So they were basically, that group of witches are the only ones who know what she is. So it actually kind of makes sense why she would find the idea of going and living together and training these 3 young witches so appealing, because it's something that she didn't have when she was younger, and it's something that she very much missed. So yeah, we haven't really learned much about the characters yet, but I'm excited to learn more about them, especially like Jamie the grumpy librarian, and Ian and Ken and Lucy and everybody else, and the 3 young girls, obviously. Like, yeah, I just think it's gonna be a very cozy read, and I'm just excited to actually continue on. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go and sit down with it right now. Just have a cozy little late autumn evening because it gets dark so early now. It's kinda depressing. Oh my god, the light just turned on. Wait, let me show you this. Look at them. They just went on right in front of me. I still haven't been able to figure out how the hell this actually... It's like a solar lamp, but I don't know how it works exactly. It just turns on every once in a while, and I have no idea why. Like, usually it needs to be completely dark outside for it to go on. Sometimes it's like today when it's still light outside, but it goes on. Sometimes it doesn't like turn on at all, and I have no idea how the hell it works, but I just noticed right now that it lit up and I thought it was pretty, so... But it goes out very fast. I feel like the battery is very weak inside, so yeah, I don't know. But basically, yeah, I'm gonna go and sit down with the Secret Society. Today must be a special day because it's literally still glowing, but it's been like a good 5 minutes already. You can kind of see the lights getting dimmer with like every minute, but it's actually been glowing for a while. I thought I should get a shot with a book or something because this is a time to celebrate. Like, the lamp is still going. What's happening? Hello, so today I actually watched the movie A School for Good and Evil for the second time because I already felt the need to like rewatch it just because it was that good. I freaking loved it so much. First of all, I wasn't expecting there to be so much Kit Young in this movie. I think I saw somewhere that he was gonna be like in the movie, but I thought it was just gonna be like a short cameo in that one scene in the beginning, but then he kept on popping up in the most intense moments, honestly. It was almost kind of creepy, but I freaking loved him. Like, I loved him in that role. I love Kit Young in general. Like, if you don't know, he plays Jasper in the Shadow and Bone series on Netflix as well, and he is perfect. He's the perfect Jasper, but he also did such a good job with his role of like this evil man that's gonna steer the kids on his evil little path. And I just freaking loved him for that, honestly. I love seeing more Kit Young in all these like book adaptations, and it was an amazing adaptation. I gotta admit, I don't remember much from the books because I did read them like quite a few years ago, the first 3 books in the series. But from what I do remember, I feel like they captured it really well with this movie that they filmed. I just love the way they brought to life the School for Good and Evil. Both of the schools just look stunning. I love the way that they did magic and like all the magical creatures, like the birth monster thing that kind of steals kids from the town. It was just really cool to see it all come to life, and we have the main characters like Agatha and Sophie, freaking adorable. I feel like they really were adapted well from the book. I feel like they really stay true to their characters in the book as well. Agatha is just such a sweetheart, and Sophie just being the most dramatic person ever. And I freaking love it. I love it a lot. I would give it like 100% because it was just that good. And I hope they do more of the movies. I hope they do the sequels as well. But yeah, we're gonna see. So yeah, really good adaptation. I'm definitely gonna be watching more in the future. I do actually also have a reading update because I have been making my way through The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana, and this book, guys, it is so good. It's been taking me a little bit longer to get through it than what I was anticipating. Like, it took me almost an entire week to get to the point where I'm at right now. And I'm currently on page 242. I'm on chapter 22. But the story is very beautiful. Like, I'm not slowly reading it because I wouldn't be enjoying it, because the story is absolutely amazing. It's one of the coziest books that I've read in a while, and I think that coziness just comes from, first off, the setting of the story. It's set at Nowhere House, and Nowhere House just sounds like the safest, most comfortable little like safe haven that you can possibly imagine. And obviously there is magic there because 4 witches now live at Nowhere House, including Mika. I think the second like cozy factor comes from the relationships between all the main characters. Like, I've mentioned Mika Moon. She's a witch who has been looking for a home and a family her entire life, and she gets hired to actually become tutor of 3 other young witches who have pretty much lived secluded from the society and civilization their entire lives because they are very young witches and have not yet learned how to control their magic because there has been no one around to teach them how to control their magic. So Mika Moon actually goes there to teach these 3 young girls. They're called Altamira, Terracotta, and Rosetta, to teach them about magic, what even is magic, how to control magic, how to use magic, that kind of thing. And by doing so, she also meets the other caretakers of the 3 young girls. Enter the other 4 main characters, 4 adorable main characters. We first off have Jamie, who's the grumpy librarian. He's also the main love interest, and he is freaking adorable. He's like a hoot. Honestly, I love the banter that him and Mika have, and like the slowly thawing ice between them, because obviously Jamie is the grumpy librarian, but he's also overbearingly protective of the 3 young girls. He kind of considers the 3 young witches to be like his daughters. He's very like dad-like to them. And he's obviously gonna be protective and very suspicious of Mika, but I love how slowly they're getting closer to each other. They're realizing that their end goal is basically the same, to protect the 3 young witches and to teach them magic and to finally give them a chance to go out into the world to meet other people and to just live their lives, you know? And then we have 3 others. We have Ian and Ken, who are this kind of like grandfather pair. They're actually married and they're kind of old, and they just have the most beautiful relationship, both like among each other but also with all the other characters. They're also so dramatic. Ian is such a dramatic character. He definitely, like, he's kind of like the life of the party among the group of characters that we follow, and he is adorable. He's the main grandpa of the story, and then Ken is kind of like the second grandpa. And then we also have Lucy, who is a little bit like a grandma of the story. Like, she always says she's not that old, but from her like behavior and things that she does, like, she's constantly nagging at other characters to eat their food and like to rest and stuff like that, which just honestly reminds me of my own grandmother, and that's kind of why I see her as this grandmother-like character. I mean, you could also say she's very motherly of everybody, but like the grandma image just kind of fits her better, so I can't help but think of her as like the grandma of the story, and they just make the most adorable group of characters that I've read in a while. I wanna see them happy, I wanna see them protected, and I want to see them get through the shit that they're about to go through safely, because they have some like hard stuff about to come up, and I want to see them resolve those things safely and just live their lives like in peace from everybody at Nowhere House. And you know, I just want to see them happy. So yeah, very good. It is a very well written story. The pacing, I feel like, is very good. It does such a good job of really developing all the relationships in here. I love how all the characters were given a lot of depth. We do learn more about like their backstories, about some of the hard things that they all had to go through, and yeah, it's just this is turning into like a new favorite book, and I'm personally enjoying it a lot. Would highly recommend it to you guys as well if you're interested in the story. So yeah, I know I haven't seen people really read it. I've seen a lot of people put it on their TBRs, but I haven't seen any reviews yet. But I'm also kind of avoiding seeing actually reviews of the story because I don't want my opinion to be swayed by other people's reviews. But I feel like as soon as I finish the story, I want to go and check out other people's reviews and their opinions because I really want to know like what they think about it, how they felt about it, that kind of thing. I just want like to talk to people about the story because it is just that adorable. So yes, I have like about 80 pages left to finish the story, and I think I'm gonna go and read it right now. I was hoping I could finish it today, but like going from how slowly I've been reading the story, I don't think it's gonna happen. But hopefully I'm gonna finish it by tomorrow so I can wrap up this little lovely reading log. Okay, hello. So I decided to sit down in front of my shelf today because I haven't really filmed in this like angle in a while. It's been a while since I like sat down in front of these shelves in my room. I kinda missed it, so I thought I'd like sit down here today to give you my one last update on the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. Listen, guys, I freaking loved the ending of the story. Those last 80 pages, nothing could have prepared them for that. I don't think nothing could have ever prepared me for everything that went down. It suddenly got so twisty. Honestly, surprises, and then even more surprises, and then some funny moments, and some more surprises. It was freaking adorable, okay? I loved every single second of it. So yeah, now that I finished The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, I think I can happily say that this reading log was definitely a success. I pretty much enjoyed both of the books that I've read. I also have the other book here. I have The Kiskers by Erin Sterling as well. Both books were like, they were decent reads. You know, I didn't end up enjoying The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches a little bit more than The Kiskers, but I also don't think that you can really compare these two books because they are very different to each other. I feel like this one is more like mainstream, while this one is more like, this is kind of like the book that you read and then kind of want to gatekeep, whereas this is like a book that you read and then just want to talk about it with a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I see them. Like this one is kind of loud and energetic, while this one is kind of calm and quiet. If that makes sense, I don't know. Like I'm an introvert. I sometimes have these weird ideas about books. Anyway, so yes, this was it for the reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed going on this little autumnal journey with me. I had so much fun this whole entire October. Honestly, there were so many fall things to enjoy, like the colors outside and activities and just warm drinks. Warm drinks just get a whole new meaning during autumn and the cool days. So yes, I do appreciate them dearly. And yeah, I also appreciate books. Like books also get a whole new meaning during autumn. Am I right? Or am I right? Like it just, yeah, one of my favorite things to do during autumn is just sit down with a book and read. And I will be doing more of that in the future as well because I have all those new autumn books that I'm looking forward to. I think next up I'm gonna pick up some middle grades because I don't know, just kind of to switch things up, and then I might continue with the other witchy romances that I have. I still have my eye on a couple, because even though I know autumn is almost over, like, I just want to read witchy romances all year round now. I am in love with them so much. But yeah, all that coming soon, and for now, I'm gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys actually check out both of the books that I've read, if this is something you're interested in. Let me know if you are interested in either of the books. Have you read either The Kiskers or The Ex-Hex or The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches? I'd love to know any other witchy romances on your TBR or on your already read list. So yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading vlog. Hope you enjoyed watching and hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. And until next time, bye everybody!